Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 17th of April. So let's get on and look at the news events first. Well, we saw yesterday, there wasn't a great deal of data out there yesterday, but what came out didn't help me too much. We had actually Canadian inflation, etc. Looking it's the only one that went softer than what we're seeing so far. This morning we've seen UK inflation coming out higher than expected, right the way across the board there actually, in each of the regions, year on year, month on month, everything. It's showing higher than expected. Now you can see on here the futures have been pricing in now that the first cut will come in November versus September. This is really sliding back and will slow things down here. So all in all, there's no great news out today. If you look at where we are today, get the 18th would be good, 17th would be even better. Where are you? Here we are. A lot of speakers out today. Whether they're going to create anything really too much, but in terms of news, we went to about 5 o'clock in the evening for a bit of news. So when the main speakers come on, there's not this other data, wherever it is, the European data is not. I don't know what I've highlighted quite so high, but anyway, a bit of it. European zone, we've seen all the flash data coming out. Who knows, it might create something in these markets, but we've got a stack of speakers lining up there throughout the day, and that's about it. So there's no numbers-driven data to come out today. We've got something more tomorrow with the Australian employment data, but even. And home sales was a bit of retail sales on Friday. That's it. It's really a light week in terms of numbers, so it's down to speakers and price action. Right. So anyway, euro slowing up. It's downward move there. Is it the euro strengthening or just the dollar weakening now after its strides? There's sort of divergences, etc. We've sort of double bottomed on the lower time frame. It's just really slowing up. It's just how this consolidation and what it does. It's pushing up at the moment. This can change quite quickly post 8 o'clock. As we know, we often see sort of an early morning run and then a rollover possible. I'm certainly not a buyer of this market at the moment, but there isn't anything to sell by it for me at the moment either. The pound's getting the gains of the inflation data. It's just been released there and it's pushing up. I am still looking at the weekly pivot. We'll see if we get a reaction back into that. But again, you can see double bottoms in the lower time frames here kicking through. That's actually just triggering, so we could see a little bit more push up through today. I'm just looking where the daily pivot was. It must have been underneath my main pivot here. As I said, that's trouble, that main pivot. Price tends to hold around it, but you can see the double bottoms quite clearly there. Just slowing up this movement, a break of this high between the two lows. Well, that sort of suggests that further, potential further upside there for now at least. But it's a patience game for me at the moment with these two markets. US dollar yen, I've been sort of steering clear of this. We could see, if we not see a massive correction relative to what we're seeing elsewhere. But we'll see what happens. It's right into its daily pivot at the moment. Could triple over. Again, I'm not keen on selling the market that's pushing up like this. At some point, yeah, sure, it might move, but it's going against where I want it to be at the moment, so it's all down to patience. Australian dollar, the Australian dollar's been sold off strongly again yesterday. This has been moving a bit more to the downside, finding a bit of support into its S1 at the moment. We're well clear of its weekly pivot at this stage. Well, I suppose towards the end of the week it could work its way all the way up that way. We'll look at what's happening again, just with the euro, the euro, etc. sort of trying to grind out a bit of a bottom yesterday by the looks of it, but just be patient here. We could run into some resistance, which gives us an opportunity back to the downside in the continuation. The US dollar CAD soft data yesterday, well, we've seen it pushing to the upside there against the dollar, but it's turning back a little bit here at the moment as well. I mean, you just see it just shows you the weakness that's coming through a little bit with the US dollar this morning, and it's rolling back here. Now, this isn't a signal for me to start selling the dollar. As I said, it's been pretty strong. Yes, there's a weaker sign there, but I need a bit more of a signal before I was to do that. The New Zealand dollar, again, bit of a bounce, higher inflation than expected, running through there. Now, the New Zealand central bank at one stage was still talking about further rate increases. This data might not help things in that respect. Certainly holding the figures for longer. They're still battling with inflation. Okay, but I don't want to be selling where it is at the moment yet on this. In these markets, it's put a higher low in here, but not really keen on the buy side either. Dollar Swissy, this is slowed up and is rolling over. You've just come down to the 60-minute here, but what a mess. What a mess. Yes, it's suddenly got a bit of a surge on. This could create something more across these markets, but you just got to be a bit careful. Like the euro yen, it's okay, it's starting to turn around a bit better now. Switching back, still overall relatively solid. Haven't looked the last couple of days to see what retail traders are doing with this, but it's one of their favourite shorts generally. But it's still, for me, something I should be looking on the longer side. It went off again yesterday. It didn't give me my usual signal to get into it, but it did go. Anyway, there we go. So, okay, we'll look through the cross pairs in a moment in the room. Side of that, let's have a quick look at gold, just coming off. Yesterday, not really doing too much, coming off a little bit this morning, but still hanging in there. We saw that funny old price action, but it's come down to 60-minute. There we go. Yesterday, it did hold into the daily pivot there, held on, came back to it a couple of times, holding on. We might see it push on through again this morning. If we can break the other side of that pivot, it'll be a bit more bullish for the upside. Oil, still not for me a tradable pair for now, or per se pair, tradable commodity for now. It's just chopping too much. It's got this sort of hint of bearishness kicking through, but yeah, it's just not doing what it used to do, as I said. So we'll leave it until it gets back into some tradable shape. Equity markets, S&P's coming off slightly again yesterday. We're seeing this sort of the correction continue through here. Again, is it grinding out a bit of a bottom here? It could be, but it is hanging around the lows, which a move to the low side and holding on to the low side could just mean it's got some more downside, but nothing signaling straight up there. The Nasdaq, similar picture. Dow Jones, all the same picture. In fact, the Dow's off that little bit more. DAX hanging into its 50. Yesterday it managed a bit of a bounce off that 50 at one stage when I looked at it. Not very far, but it's still, this looks, if you want the market that's looking like it could roll over a little bit more, certainly the DAX does at the moment. FTSE also rolling over, so it's gone. The last bar on the futures here really pushed down there. Higher inflation not helping it at all, so the FTSE may see a continuation of that through this morning. Okay, I shall leave it there for you YouTubers. I'll wish you a great day's trading, and just got to be patient again as ever. Seems like the usual story there, but It's the way it is in the mornings. We're seeing more movement in the afternoons than the mornings at the moment. Right, I will leave it there. Catch you later. Bye for now.